Good morning, YouTube. I am Bearded Ink, and today we have another viewer requested tutorial for you. Uh, Silent follows. If you follow me on Twitch, you know that about 20 months ago now, I started a trend, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure that I started it, but I didn't see anybody doing it before me. But lots of people are doing it now, and it's called silent follows or anonymous follows. And basically, you can allow people to follow your channel without being alerted in chat with chat messages or on screen with big hoopla on their names and profile pictures and all of that. Um, and I started this because I found out that a lot of my viewers like to lurk and hang out in the shadows, and they didn't really want to be like a part of the stream. They just wanted to be there and enjoy it in the backgrounds or in the shadows, right? And we all know that lurkers on Twitch are a big part of Twitch and the viewership. And I also found that I would get a lot of follows as soon as my stream ended, and this was really weird to me. I was like, why don't you just follow while you're in chat and live? Um, so I turned all of my follow alerts off, right? I had no alerts on screen. I had no messages sent to chat, and I had nothing in my ending credits that showed who followed or when. And I noticed that the follows at the end of my stream started coming during my stream. Um, so there are a lot of people out there that want to follow your channel, but may be too timid, or they don't want to be called out, or had attention drawn to them for whatever reason. So I started this silent follows, and ever since then I think it's been a really big hit, and it's caught on quite a bit, and I see a lot of people doing it now. But recently in the Discord we had a viewer come in and request this. They said, is there a way to set up partially silent following for lurkers who don't want any attention but still want to follow? Basically, we were looking for something where we could have follow alerts for those that wanted them, but silent alerts for those that didn't want them. And I came across this post from Marita, and it got me thinking. And I was like, at first, I was like, no, there's no way, right? You either have to have your follow alerts on or off. But that didn't sit well with me. I wanted this to be a thing. But what we ended up doing was doing viewer choice, right? Let the viewers decide if they want their follow alerts to be published and displayed, or if they want to stay anonymous. But instead of having the lurkers pick, we're letting the ones that want their alerts pick. So we're going to go ahead and get right on in that. I'm going to show you how to set it up. Of course, it's going to be a little bit different based on what your alerts are, but we'll explain all that as we go along. So if you want to enjoy this and let your viewers decide if they want to have silent follows or not, then this is the tutorial for you. All right, so we're in Streamer.Bot here. I have a welcome and shout section here, and we're just going to go right into that. This is where all of my alerts are. So if I open this up, I have all of my stuff for the cheers, the donations, gift subs, and gift bombs, my hype trains, my raids, but I don't have anything for followers because I have silent follows enabled, so there's no alerts. But we're going to make one, and we're going to do it in the style that I accustomed to. I have on my streams a unified style of alerts. So basically what happens is there's a little fire band that goes across the bottom of the screen, and then their name or their raid message or whatever is shown there, welcoming them in. And if I can, let me see if I can display that for you. So basically, I have this little fire that comes up on the bottom of the screen, and then it has their message that's right above it. So like the last one I had here was a raid from Raji, and then it hangs out there for a couple seconds, and then it disappears. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate all of that. Now, if your alerts are different, obviously you're going to have, different graphics and sounds and things of that nature. So you're going to have to make those changes on your own, but I'm just going to show you how I would do it for mine. And then you can follow along with the important stuff that we'll get to after. So we're actually going to make 3 sub actions. And this is going to be a new, double check for us because we need to check 2 things. The first thing we need to check is if they actually follow the channel, because we don't want somebody to redeem it if they don't follow the channel and then have it say that they do. The second thing is we need to check if they've already made that redeem ever. Because just like a follow, you want them to only be able to follow once. That way they only want to redeem it once, and then it prevents the spam, because it is a fairly cheap redeem, and we will cover that too. So we're going to come over to our area here, and we're going to click on add, and I'm just going to name the first one new follow. And this is going to be the main action that we're going to use and get everything set up. But we're going to make two smaller actions. So we're just going to come in here again and add, and we're going to do new follow, whoops, done. And this is going to be the one if they've already redeemed the redeem once, it won't let them do it again. And then we're going to make a new one, and we're going to call this new follow non. We'll just name it non. That means they don't follow us. And what you name these really doesn't matter. I'm just doing it to keep them all grouped together. But you can name them obviously whatever you want. Just don't lose track of them. Okay. So for the new follower non, what we want to do is we want to come over here and we want to do a Twitch message. And we're going to come in here and we're going to say, we're going to go to chat, and then we're going to go to send message to channel. And this is just going to say, oops, sorry, this redeem is only for followers. Your points have been refunded. I'm just going to go ahead and we're just going to highlight all of it right here. And I'm just going to copy this because I don't want to type it all again. And then we're going to have this come from the bot account. We're going to say, okay, so we have this over here now. And then we're going to refund the channel points. And that's done in Twitch. We're going to go to rewards. And then the very last one here, update redemption status. We're going to click on that. With redemption status, you have two options, cancel and fulfill. So if you fulfill it, it means it goes through, it takes it off of the queue in Twitch there, and it removes their channel points permanently. If you choose cancel, which is the default here, basically what it does is it refunds their channel points. And so you don't have to go into Twitch or the mod view and all of that and do it manually. Okay, so we're just going to have that done. And then that's done. So now we're going to go back to the follow done. Now remember, this is the one for people that do follow the channel and have already used the redeem. So we're going to do basically the same thing here. We're going to come in here. We're going to go Twitch. We're going to go to chat and then send message to channel. We're just going to paste what we typed there. And this time we're going to use the username, because obviously they do follow and they want to be alerted. So it's okay to use their name. Why am I in caps lock? I don't know. So we're going to say, oops, user, you, here we go. You have already redeemed this. Your points have been refunded. Okay. And then again, we can just go back and copy. So we're going to right click, copy sub action, and then we can paste the sub action so that the redemption is canceled. All right, so we have those two set up. So now if they don't follow the channel, we're going to send them this message and refund their points. If they do follow the channel, we're going to send them this message and refund their points if they've already used the redeem. Okay, so now we're going to go back to new follow, and we're going to get everything set up and triggered to run. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get the information from who this person is. So to do that, we're going to right click. We're going to go down to Twitch. We're going to go to user, get user info for target. And this is going to be from user. So it should say Twitch add target info from who redeemed. And this is going to pull in a lot of variables such as, are they followed? Are they subbed? Are they a VIP? What's their username, their user, their ID, their profile picture, all of this stuff, right? And then we're going to get that from there. So now we need to find out if they actually follow us. Okay. And if so, we need to allow it to continue. If they don't, then we need to send them the, hey, you don't follow the channel, right? So we're going to do an if else statement. So we're going to come in here, we're going to go core logic and then the if else. So the variable for this one is target is following. And remember, the second and third words are going to be capitalized. So it's target is, with a capital I, following. Okay. And so we're going to set this if it equals false. So it's capital F A L S E to be Boolean. And then we're going to send them to our new follow. So we just type in new here in the search. New follow non means they don't follow us. So if they're following, or if the target is following is false, then we're going to have them go to the follow non action, which basically refunds their points. And again, it tells them in chat, you don't follow the channel. And then we're going to break because we don't want to do anything else other than that. Or else we're just going to continue on with doing nothing and running the rest of these sub actions. Okay. So now that's our first step, right? So they come in, they do the redeem, and it says, hey, are you following? And if not, then we're going to say, oh, sorry, this redeem is only for followers. So it lets them know you have to follow the channel before you can run that redeem. Okay. Next, we have to, we're gonna set up our very first variable, and this is going to be a user persisted variable. That way it is specific to each user. Okay. And we're going to use the get global for this one. So we're going to right click, we're going to go to core, and we're going to go to globals, and then we're going to do global get. And what this is going to do is that we're going to be able to give this a variable name and a setting. And if it already exists, it will take that value. If it doesn't exist, it will create the value and the variable for us. Okay, so the variable name here we're going to use, I'm just going to use user followed. So we're going to say user followed, and I'm going to carry over with that same case. Now the destination variable, because, oh, sorry, we need to drop this down. This needs to be a user redeemer. Let's make that clear right up front. This is so it becomes a user variable and not just a standard global. So it will only write to that username. The destination variable here is also going to be user followed because it doesn't really matter. We don't need to pull this in later or in anywhere else except for this sub action. So we don't need to like make it a different name. And the default value is going to be false. We're going to assume that they've never used this redeem before. So if the variable is not there, then it will create it and set it to false. If it is there, then it will get the value for whatever the value is. In this case, it's either going to be true or false. Okay. So now we need to decide if it's true, which means they've already redeemed it, then we need to send them on. So we're going to do another if else statement. And again, that's right click on core logic this time, if else. Okay. And then we're going to have our variable user followed. And if it equals true, then we're going to send them to our follow done action. So we can come in here and do again, new follow done. And this is why, exactly why here these if statements is why we set up the other two first, because otherwise we'd have to leave these blank and come back after we created them, and it's a whole mess, right? So then again, we're going to break. And then we're going to do nothing. If it's false, we're going to do nothing and continue on with our sub actions here. So again, let's cover this now step by step. So they come in, they're in your chat, they see the channel point redeem, and they click on it. This is going to check if they're following the channel. And if they are not following the channel, it's going to let them know that they have to follow the channel before they can use that redeem and refund their points. Then we're going to set a new user followed. So we do this after, so that way the new person coming in, if they don't follow the channel, doesn't have this already set and can throw everything off. So after we do the check if they're following, we say, oh, they are following. Now they can actually use that redeem unless they've already used it. So have they already used it? Meaning this value gets changed from false to true. Then we're going to send them over here and say, haha, sorry, you can't spam this. You only get to use it once. And then we're going to refund your points. Okay. And now we can go on and do everything else that we need to do. So for example, I like to play a sound, right? Everybody likes to play a sound. So we're going to come in here. I actually have a followers random alert. So you can do this one of two ways. We're going to come in here. We're going to go to core. We're going to go down to sounds, and you can choose one of these two right here. You can play a sound if you only want to play a single sound, or if, like me, you have multiple sounds in a folder, we're going to select sound from folder. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click these three little dot button right here, and we're going to find my follower alerts. And I have those in my C drive, this PC, my C drive, my programs files, my sounds, my OBS sounds, my alerts, and then followers. And I'm going to select that folder. And so now we don't want it to finish playing before it continues. We just kind of want it to go on. And we're going to say, okay. And then here's where you're going to turn on the visibility for your alerts. So I assume you already have your alerts set up in OBS for you. And if you don't, we have tutorials on how to do that. You can check around. Setting up OBS is just adding a graphic and then turning the visibility off. And we're just going to turn the visibility on. Now this is going to be, I use the same one. So that's my welcome card. The fire one, I have it for whatever reason called card back. I think it's because I used to have little Magic the Gathering style playing cards that would show up as your alerts. And I've changed it now to that fire, but I didn't change the name. So I need to set my source visibility state for this. Okay. So we're going to come down. We're going to go to OBS, sources, set source visibility state. It's always the bottom one for me for whatever reason. I always pick everything that's the very farthest from the top that I possibly can. All right, so now I have this set up in its own scene. It's the welcome card scene, so I'm going to look for that welcome card. There it is. And then the source for the fire is the card back, so we're going to say that, and we're going to turn it to visible. And we're going to just turn that fire on, and that will let us see everything. Okay, and then I want to go ahead and I'm going to set a small delay. Now this is purely optional. I just like to do that so that the sound has a chance to play through without everything kind of happening at once. I'm just going to set this for 1 second. And remember, the delay is in milliseconds, right? So 1 second is 1,000 milliseconds. Okay, and then we need to set our well, I need to set the browser source URL. This is going to pull in their avatar or their profile picture. And I have a browser source for that called viewer AV or avatar. So we're going to set the browser source for that. Now, I will cover this real quick because if this is something you want to do, I don't need you to go run off to a whole another tutorial just to figure it out. But in OBS, you're going to create a new browser source. And let me come over here and grab one real quick. So we're going to create a new browser source that's going to be invisible. Okay. And you're going to name it whatever you want to name it. So here, let me just show you this real quick. This is my thing. So here we have, we made a new browser source. I've called this one viewer AV. You can zoom in for you. And you're going to put in the URL, you're just going to put this about : blank. Okay. And then I have mine set to 150 by 150. You can set them to basically whatever size you want. And then everything else you can just leave empty there or as it is default. And we're just going to click OK. So now we have that, and then you can position it around wherever you want. Right. So let's go back into the bot now, and we're going to set the browser source URL for that. And we're going to be able to use a variable because we've already done the info from who redeemed. So we have the address for their profile picture already stored in Streamer.Bot. So we're going to come to OBS. We're going to get sources, and then we're going to set the browser source URL, right? And then this is going to come up and say, what source do you want to set? So we're going to find our welcome card. We're going to find the viewer AV, which is the browser source we use. Now the URL is going to be a variable. In this variable, remember we have your percentage signs, is going to be target. Oh my God, I can't type. User, capital U, profile, with a capital P, image with a capital I, and then URL with a capital U. Oops. U-R-L. No, not K, L. And then we're going to close that off with a percentage. So there you go. Target, user, profile, image, URL. And then user, profile, image, and URL are all capitalized. Okay. So just like that. So now whenever whoever it is that redeems it will replace the browser source that we just created with their profile picture from Twitch. Okay. So the next thing we want to do now is we need to set our text, and that's the little text box that I have that appears just above the fire line there. And as you saw earlier when I showed it off, it was like the last raid or whatever. So we're going to come in here and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to set the source visibility state, or I'm sorry, we're going to set the GDI text. So we're going to go OBS sources, set GDI text. And then again, we're going to pick our welcome card. This one I have as the viewer name. That's just what I called it. You can call your GDI, your text source, whatever you want. And then we're just going to have our message that we want them to display. So for mine, for example, my community, it's all pub based. We have the bearded pint. So we're just going to say that they have entered the pint here. So we're going to use their name though. So we're going to say percentage here, and then user has entered. And fix my typos. There we go. So user has entered the bearded pint. Cheers. And that's just going to be their little welcome message. So now we need to start turning everything on. Okay. So now that we have the browser source with their profile picture populated, we have the welcome message populated, and the fire, or in my case, the fire, your background of the alert is visible. We can now turn the other ones on. So we're just going to set source visibility state, and we can just duplicate this twice because I have 2 of them. So for mine here, this is going to be the viewer name and the viewer AV, right? And we're going to turn all of those on. So now we have the fire back, we have the name, and we have their profile picture, or the name. We have the message, the welcome message. Okay. Now I want to set another delay here. I'm going to just set a delay of about a second. And then so once all this is on the screen, I want to go ahead and send a message to chat as well. All right, so I'm going to go back to Twitch. We're going to go chat, send message to channel. I want this to come from the bot account. And we're going to just say something simple like, welcome to the show. Thank you. We'll do %user. Thank you, user, for the follow. All right. So nothing fancy, really, just gets their name on the chat as well as on screen. So now I'm going to add another delay. Now I like mine to be on screen for a little bit. So we're going to do like a 3.5 seconds. So everything total right now is running at about 5.5 seconds. And then we're going to start turning everything off. Okay. So we're just going to do the same thing as the visibility states. We can just duplicate these, all of them. Duplicate. Now I don't want my fire, because it comes on first, I don't want it to go away at the same time. I'm just going to do another delay of about half a second, so 500 milliseconds, and then I can set this one. We'll just duplicate here, and we got to go in here and change all of these from visible to hidden, and we don't have to type everything all over again. Easy, super easy. There we go. So now we have this all done, right? So if they come in and they redeem it, it checks that they're following. It sets their variable to false because they haven't redeemed it yet, but they do follow the channel. And then it comes in, it plays the sound, and it turns all the visibility on. It sets all of their browser source, the avatar and their message with their name. And then it sets it for about 3.5 seconds, and then it turns everything off. Now we have one thing left to do. And that is we need to set the new variable that we created up here right? This variable here that we created, we need to set it to true because they have redeemed it now and they've gotten their, 5 seconds of fame by being on your screen. We don't want them to be able to spam this. So now we're going to use the set variable. So we're going to come in here, we're going to go back to core, we're going to stay on globals, and this time we're going to set. Now remember, this is a user redeemer, not a target, but who redeemed it, and it does have to be persisted. And the variable name here, of course, was the same one we used before, user followed. And then we're going to change the argument to a value, and then we're going to set that to true. Okay, so you should look like this. Set user specific redeemer to whatever your variable name was and set it to true. And so now if they try to redeem it again, it's going to get that information. It's going to say, oh, this already exists and it's set to true. And then it'll trigger this. And then it'll go over here and say, oh, you've already redeemed it. So let's go ahead and test all of this out, right? Because we still have a couple of more things to do. So to test it out, we need to have a channel point redeem. So we're going to go and make one. Now we have to be able to refund the points and all of that. As we do, we have to make sure that Streamer.Bot is the one that controls the channel point. And to do that, we have to have Streamer.Bot be the one that creates it. All right. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and go and create it. So we're going to go to platforms. We're going to go to Twitch and then channel points here. And then we're going to just add a new one. All right. So this title, it can be whatever you want. I'm going to say unsilent your follow. Okay. Now the cost for it, I'm going to give 10. Right, because you have to be there for a couple minutes to get any channel points at all. And if you do follow the channel, you get 300, but I don't want them to use all of their channel points right away just to get an alert. So we're going to set this to 10, and then we're just going to say a little message in here to let them know what to expect. So we're going to say silent follows, are enabled here on this channel. However, if you want your follow alert, your follow to be announced, just redeem this. Easy. And then you can pick a color for the background if you want, whatever. I don't care. We're going to pick this kind of purpley one. Fine. And then we can leave everything else alone. I'm going to go ahead and group this into my quick redeems. And then there it is. So we have our unsilent your follow. If we go over to Twitch and then we go to our dashboard, right, we can come over to our viewer rewards. Let me zoom in here for you. Go to viewer rewards and then power up and channel points. And then we're going to click on manage power up and channel points. And then we can scroll down and you can see there it is. Unsilent your follows. It's already there, but it doesn't have any cool pictures. So we're going to just click on edit. Okay. And then I have images here. We can drag and drop. We don't need to do anything else with any of these settings. Sorry to make you dizzy. That's all handled by Streamer.Bot. We've already set it all up. So there's the background color, there's the description, the reward name, everything. So we just want to add the pictures. It's the only thing you can't do from Streamer.Bot. So I have some here of a little megaphone that I made. So I'm just going to drag and drop these into place. So the 112 goes there. We have the 56 pixel one goes there, and then the 28 pixel one goes there. And then we have this little preview here of what it will look like in the redemption thing when they click on the channel points. So there it is, right? And we can just say save. It'll upload the photos, and then once it's done, and we're good to go. Okay, and we can get out of Twitch now, and we can close down this graphics here, and we can go back to our actions. And now we can come in here and we can set a new trigger. So I have mine set to favorite which is the reward redemption. Ooh, let me zoom in. I'm sorry. I have a favorite trigger, but if you don't have yours set up, it is just on Twitch. It is channel reward. I'm sorry. Yeah, reward redemption right here. So channel reward redemption. And if you want to have that as a favorite, all you have to do is come here and right click on it. Okay, so I'm going to do that now because I removed it. So we're going to go to Twitch, channel reward redemption, right click. And you see kind of all disappears. But now when we go back, favorite triggers, there it is, Twitch channel reward redemption right there. And we can click on that. And then we get to pick our reward, which we said was unsilent your follow. And then we're going to say, okay. So now we have this channel point reward here. We have all of this set up here. And now we just get to test it out. So let me bring the chat over so that you can see what's going on. Okay. And we're also going to open up our variables. So let me see here. Just so you can actually see what is going to happen and test this here. And just know that if you followed along and you've got everything set up as I do, it will work. I'm going to make a secondary one, and we're just going to come in here. We're going to go Twitch, the Twitch channel, and follow. So if anybody follows the channel, it will trigger this, but we don't want to keep this here. We're just going to do this for testing because we can set up a simulated event. So what I can do here is I can come in here and I can say, who do we want to have this done? So I don't know, we'll do one of my moderators, Assorted Marbles, right? So we can look for his name. There he is. Okay, so we'll say, okay.
Hey, look at that. We've got a new follower. That's so cool. Thanks for following.
So there you go. So you saw it worked because he hadn't redeemed it before. But if we go look at our variables now, and we want to come up here to persisted user globals, drop this down to Twitch, and then we just type in his name, Assorted Marbles. There it is. We should see that he has the user followed, and it is now set to true. Okay, but I'm going to delete this. I'm going to say, yes, I'm going to delete, and we're going to leave this open now. And I'm going to show you what to look for. Right here, if I can get this set up good so that you can actually see what's going on. Okay, so let me back out here. So what I have here is I have the user persisted global for Marbs open, and we have this simulated event. So we're going to simulate the event. It will play the sound. It will show the fire. It should show his avatar, and then it should have the message. But as soon as I click on simulate event here, you're going to see right away that at the bottom here, and I'll just click the bottom and highlight it so you can see there will be a new one created. Right, so there'll be a new one created, and that will be our user followed. And I will zoom in for you too, so you can see. We'll come right here, and you'll see that it will say false, and then as everything runs, it will change to true. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Here we go.
Hey, look at that. We've got a new follower. That's so cool. Thanks for following.
Boom. Okay, so we know that everything here is working. So now if we try to do it again with the same user, it should come up in chat. Here's his message. Welcome to the show. Thank you, Assorted Marbles, for the follow, right? It should come up and say, oh, you've already redeemed that, right? So we're going to come in here. We're going to test this again. You notice nothing played, but if we go look at our Twitch chat, there you go. Assorted Marbles, you have already redeemed this. Your points have been refunded. And then, of course, if he didn't follow the channel, which I don't have any in my list of non-followers to test it with, but if he wasn't a follower, instead of this message, he would get this redeem is only for followers message again. So there you go. All right, so now that we've tested everything, we know it all works. We're going to go ahead and come back up here, and don't forget the Twitch channel, the follow alert. We want to delete this, right? The only trigger we want to have is that channel point because we want to default to a silent follow and then let them unsilent their follows. So we want to make sure that we have that off. We only put that on there for testing. So make sure that that is removed. All right. So we have it tested. We know that our variables work. And now we have silent follows on our channel for the lurkers and stuff that wish to remain anonymous. But if anybody wants to be alerted that, or alert you that, hey, I followed your channel, they can use that redeem. Now, be warned, especially for some of you larger channels, if you have quite a few followers or you have a larger community, nobody will have this variable set for their username yet. So you may start your next few streams, you may get a lot of follower alerts because it's going to allow everybody that has followed you before to redeem this and get their follow alert for you. So don't be surprised if you find out that you have 10, 20, 30, 40 or whatever these going off for the next few streams. But then as it winds down, the new followers and stuff will come in and they won't get the alert that they followed the channel, but then they can decide for themselves whether they want the alert or not. So I hope that explained everything. I know I went a little bit fast over some of the setups. So if you have any questions, especially about the parts I glossed over, like setting up your alerts in OBS, drop them in the comments below. If you found this useful and you think you're going to use it, give me a thumbs up and go ahead and leave a comment for me too, if you don't mind, and let me know how you plan to utilize this in your stream, or if you think that you maybe not want to use it. If you found something in the tutorial that you didn't like, go ahead and give me a thumbs down. That's okay. But all I ask is if I do get a thumbs down from you, please leave a comment and let me know what it is that you did not like about the video so that I can bring the best tutorials for everyone moving forward and make those changes if needed. But otherwise, if you're new to the channel, hi, I'm Bearded Ink, and I'm glad to have you here. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to see more tutorials, just click the little subscribe button down below. It's free and it makes me feel good, but it'll also let you know when I post new tutorials or when I go live for our Saturday live Q&A streams. We can hang out and answer your questions there, or you can come in and check out all the new tutorials that we post up and leave your comments for me there. And I answer every comment, or do my best anyway. I really try. But yeah, let's get out of here, right? So go find something else to do. Enjoy your semi-silent follows or your viewer choice alerts for your followers there. And let me know how it works for you. And until next time, everybody, love, peace, and chicken grease.